Hey guys, and welcome to another review. This is Unblessed Data, and we're going to review Arrow Season 1, Episode 11. This one's titled Trust But Verify, and rightly so. So let's get right into this episode. Great episode this week. Pretty much, I think it was pretty good. Better than last week's. The episode that, for its return, I don't think it was that good, honestly. It was still really good. I still liked it with the killer fireman guy, whatever, fireman, firefighter, fire person, whatever the right term is, I don't know. Anyway, let's get into this one. Right off the bat, we see an armored truck, and it's, going down the road. They're all happy in their little armored truck, and it basically gets hijacked by a bunch of men in armor, like bulletproof vests. They have a grenade launcher. They're trained. You can tell they're trained, and they killed because they killed the guys that were driving it, and it looked like it was just money, too, so they're just going after money. But, yeah, it looks like they're trained, they know what they're doing, like, they're in formation and everything, and they killed them, so I don't know what's going on. Then we go to Oliver and John in the, I don't even know what to call it, Batcave? It's not a Batcave, but, like, their little, I'll just call it their base. So, in Oliver and John's little base there, they actually mention, but it never turns up in the episode, that they added a new entrance to their little cave. It's like a back entrance kind of thing, so that's probably going to be used in future episodes. And basically, they find out that the next guy on their hit list in the little book is actually John, and John is Oliver's bodyguard that joined him now. It's actually his commanding officer when he was in the army. So John really doesn't want to do anything. He's defending him, saying, no, he's not a bad guy. He's good. He saved my life. So he's really defending him. Oliver's, no, he's in the book. There has to be a reason why he's in the book, and there's no doubt about it. We're going after him. We're taking him down. And flashback. So we need another flashback. I love the flashbacks. And we see Oliver, and this is right where we left off from the other flashback from previous episode. And he basically has all the suit and everything on from the guy he took down in the middle of the woods. And he actually picks up his gun. Now he's armed, so he can actually defend himself. That's pretty good. And he puts on his mask too. They have like black ski masks on. He puts on the guy's mask. So Oliver's kind of like fully camoed and all this stuff. So he looks like one of the people that are working for that man. And he finds one of like a little camp that a bunch of these mercenaries, or I don't even know what you call them, are at. And they're basically all eating and stuff. And Oliver basically tells him he's supposed to transport a Chinese green hooded man, which is the guy that's been helping him out. So he's trying to find him. And then the leader of them shows up, that man, and he has like a cane now. He's limping, and he basically goes along with him in a car. And he says, "Okay, I'll bring you there." That's where the flashback ends. Then we go to Tommy, and Tommy's dad kind of wants to reunite with him, and it turns out to be a big fiasco, I guess. And he basically is tricking him into signing a bill, like a bill or a contract that will take down his mother's hospital that she put up. And I guess his mother actually passed away when he was younger, so he really doesn't want to do that, and it looks like his dad is kind of just trying to trick him. Later in the episode, though, we find out that he kind of does really care about him, even though in the whole episode Tommy's saying that, yeah, my dad's a loser, he doesn't care for anyone but himself. He actually does, because he was actually looking at a picture. It looked pretty sad, but we actually seen a little bit of Tommy's dad, the opposite Arrow, the evil Arrow. We've seen his little base, and there's like light up panels everywhere, and his costume and all his weapons and stuff. So we got a little bit of a glimpse of that, but not a lot. But it was still cool. So that's kind of all it was with his Tommy and his dad. And we actually seen that Arrow's using these darts now, kind of like what are they called? Tranquilizer darts on his enemies, because he goes in to try to take down John's commanding officer, the guy that was on the list, and he uses these darts. So it's kind of cool just kind of see like a different weapon for him to use. And basically Arrow, he confronts the commanding officer, and John's there though, and he pulls out his gun and says, no, you're not going to take him down. And Arrow escapes, obviously, and before Arrow escapes, he grabs the commanding officer, Dingle's commanding officer's hard drive, so like a flash drive, one of those small things, and he just gets out of there. And so basically John stopped Oliver from taking him down, which is a big no-no. Don't want to cross Arrow. But, so then, he kind of says, like, every name is on the list for a reason. There's not, he's not going to be accidentally put on there, so he has to be evil in some way. Just trying to figure out what, I guess. But still, John wants to prove that he's innocent. Then we go to the mom, and the mom meets up with Tommy's dad again. And basically, she wants proof that Walter's still alive since he kidnapped him. He didn't want him to figure out everything that's going on between him and the mother and their evil organization. So, he still has him. He's still kidnapped. And basically, Tommy's dad says, yeah, he's alive, don't worry. And she says, no, I want proof. And then we go to Oliver's sister, the most annoying person in the show. Honestly, I don't think she serves any purpose. I'm sure some people will disagree. She really doesn't serve any purpose. She's basically a filler. And, I don't know, it just kind of makes me angry every time she's on the screen. But, anyway, Oliver's sister actually thinks that her mother and Tommy's dad are hooking up because she always sees them together talking. And basically, she says just straight up that to Oliver that Mom's a liar, she's a cheater, don't trust anything she says, she's a lying cheater. And, that's the first time we actually seen that someone kind of understands who she really is, because she actually really does that. She's lying to her whole family here. She's the one that even set up the little cruise that killed her husband and almost killed Oliver. So she's obviously really lying and everything. And it looks like Oliver's sister is the only one that really truly believes this. And again, we go back to a flashback, and Oliver actually finds the Chinese man that was helping him out. But then the boss knocks him out, the evil man there on the island that's running everything. He kind of figures out, oh, yeah, you're Oliver. Then Oliver goes to the IT girl and basically asks her to hack into the flash drive and trying to find out what's on it and everything. Blah, blah, blah. And at this point, I think the IT girl that he keeps on going to is kind of suspicious and, kind of putting it together that something's not right here. Because he keeps on making lies. Like, oh, it's just like this and blah, blah, it's my friends. She's going to figure it out, honestly. Anytime now. And we basically find out that the hard drive has plans for the armored car hijacks and more that haven't happened yet. So basically, Oliver basically knows when the next hijack's going to happen. And so then Arrow shows up to the next hijack. This is where things get a little iffy because all these people, they all have body armor, everything. They have guns, like automatic, huge guns. I just don't see how Arrow could dodge all of them and still shoot them. So that's a little iffy. But it's really cool, the fight scenes and stuff. He's jumping everywhere, like slow motion shots. Really awesome. I thought it actually looked really cool. And we find out that it actually is John's commanding officer that is behind all this. And they kind of lose a man in the process. Oliver takes down one of the men. So they're short of men, but they still get away. And I swear to God, there is a party in every episode of this show. There's some party or something. Always a fundraiser or a party. And again, this is no exception to the rule. It's Oliver's sister's birthday. And I hope next episode doesn't have a party. Even though it doesn't hurt the show, it's just bugging me. I don't know why. It's like party. Like every week there's a party. It's just kind of unrealistic to me, but I guess they're rich so they can do whatever they want, but I don't know. So yeah, so the sister's having a party and everything. And in between that, Oliver kind of bugs John with a little microphone so you can find out what's happening. And basically, Tommy's dad shows a picture. This is like after. Tommy's dad shows a picture of Walter to Oliver's mother. So we know that he's alive at this point. Or it could have just been an old photo. We don't know. But it looks like he's tied up, kind of. Not really. He's just in like a white shirt. Just he just looks angry in the picture. But we can assume that he's still alive at this point. We just don't know where he is. I'm sure the mother's going to try and figure out a way to get him. Even though she's basically the cause of all this. So, oh well. Anyway, John goes and tries to confront his commanding officer. And they capture him. And basically he finds out he's bad. And he's just doing this for money and stuff. And he's kind of just ashamed that, they were all these officers, these people in the army for Afghan, and then they come home, they're war heroes over there, they come back, and now they have to be bodyguards and stuff, so he was upset with that, and he starts robbing. So that's basically the story, the plot behind that, but whatever. And, yeah, so they capture John, and they basically force him and say, you're either going to join us and help us, or we're going to kill your sister-in-law. And they tied up his sister-in-law from the diner, the one that always serves him, so I feel bad for her, man. I actually didn't really want her to die, although she doesn't die, so don't get the wrong impression, but So then John's kind of in the middle of the street with the grenade launcher ready to take down the armored car, and he just steps out. He doesn't do it. So they're like, okay, we're going to kill your sister-in-law. But then he's like, you forgot, I have the grenade launcher. I thought that was hilarious, and he just basically shoots them. That was pretty cool. And then Arrow shows up, of course, and he shoots the commander dead. So yeah, John was going to do it. He had a gun pointed to him, but the commanding officer knew, like, you're not going to do it. And then Arrow shot him, so it's kind of cool, dramatic drop right there, I guess. But anyway, yeah, that was basically the whole episode. And then we see more of the stupid sister. Oliver's sister basically gets a car for her birthday, like a really expensive one. And then her friends get her some, like, drugs, illegal drugs. She takes them and drives because she doesn't care anymore because she's angry at her mother. And she crashes and almost dies. Such a stupid character, honestly. We go to Oliver, and he's basically saying to John, it's kind of wrapping up the episode at this point, that it's difficult for him to trust anyone since the island. And basically, at this point, John has kind of said, you know what, I don't even want to know any of the names on the list anymore. That's for you. Keep it that way so anything like this doesn't happen again. Then we find out that Oliver's sister is actually arrested for driving under the influence of drugs. So see you later. I hope we never see her again. I'm just joking, but whatever. I really couldn't care less about her. I don't see how she can affect the story in any bigger way than this. It's just filler, honestly. But then we go to another flashback, and basically the evil boss man on the island has Oliver tied up now in a cage, and he basically says your trust is misplaced. And the Chinese hooded man that's been helping him this whole time takes off a mask behind him, and he's actually working for the evil man the whole time. So that was the big twist at the end of the episode. So I'm confused. Was this a whole plot just to get him captured? I don't know. But I guess we'll find out in the next episode, because I'm sure there's going to be tons of more flashbacks. But yeah, overall I thought this was a great episode. Can't wait for more. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at unblesseddata. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I'll see you guys later. Peace.